So we're up here in the Frostlands on the new 1.3. This is the Bannerlord Online mod. So the new changes to the vanilla game. Obviously the map hasn't changed on the online mod here, but obviously all the vanilla AI differences and the troop differences have all sort of mutated across. So today we're just gonna be versing up Hawk. We've got a pretty low level character here. We've got 91 athletics, 70, basically sort of the stats you want to be looking at having when you head up to the Frostlands, especially because it's a PvP zone. I'm actually in the PvE zone at the moment, which is where his Hawk is. So I think the line sort of draws about here where it turns to PvP, and then you have Ulf and Bjorn over here. But over here you should be safe to farm for the most part, as long as you're not in a clan that has obviously is in a war. But yeah, for the most part you're pretty safe because it's PvE. So we're reversing Hawk with a 120 army. The army's not too good. Look, I'm going to bring in some Fiends. I'm not going to upgrade them to Fiend Champs just because first time you get out of here, you're probably not going to have Fiends. We're just going to leave them as Fiends right now because the bow skill's at 160. Obviously, they get a lot better at Fiend Champs, but sitting at 160 is more like a Palatine Guard or some of the early game archers you're going to have access to. Yeah, we've got easy legionaries, easy to farm at the start of the game. Then we've just got some trash, wildlings, and falksmen. So the infantry line isn't that strong, but we've got a decent amount of archers here, so we should be able to take it on. Um, yeah, Hawk normally lures around this area. I'll put up a little map for you so you can see basically the routes that he takes, but he should be chilling up somewhere around here. Yeah, we're also going to be going over the 120 army, so we can hold 135, which is once you get your leadership to 200, you can hold, I believe, 115 troops, and then there's Hawk there. As you get a Grand Commander, I believe it is, gives you an extra 20 party size. So if you honestly have one of them, you'll be able to do Ulf and Hawk quite easily solo. But obviously, if you don't have a Grand Commander straight away, but your leadership is pretty high, I'd say bringing in around 100-ish troops is a good amount to bring into the Hawk. But yeah, we'll get into this one, see how we go. We haven't actually done this since the update 1.3, so I'm interested to see how it's going to go. I did the scouts, knocked them all off pretty easily, but obviously with the new changes, and it's going to be pretty. Yeah, he's going to have a lot more numbers than me. Yeah, how can we just get in there and see how we go? Post 1.3. We've actually got very lucky with this map here, so pretty easy. So we should start off with just putting our archers in loose formation there and bringing our infantry up just a little bit. Also, with our comps all in Division 5, we're going to have them following us. So we're just going to push up a little bit, bring the archers, just keeping them in loose, how they are. Just pushing up a little bit. We're going to see how that looks. The archers, when you first put them in loose, they start off as a good spread. I don't mind that, so as a start, but then we get our infantry straight into shield wall, just to start off. Yeah, we don't want those archers from behind hurting us. Maybe we'll bring them a little bit forward. We don't want the armor to go straight to the infantry and go to the archers. So they should start rushing in. We've got our comps behind, just sitting behind the line here. You can get in front there, but I wouldn't risk it. You don't want to be dying too early in this one. Archers are just sort of picking them off as they come in, and then as the troops get a bit closer, you can go a little bit to the right if you want. But this is okay. It doesn't seem to be the whole army yet. I'm just going to keep it in shield wall for now and get in there a little bit. Get a couple kills on the board. Alright, I'm just going to come up a little bit just to try and lure some of the back troops in. Try and get a few kills here and there. Alright, we might have to go square now. It's actually getting a little bit dangerous right there. I think we've just recovered nicely there. So the infantry are getting into a square, so they're sort of moulding around the outside for the archers to pick them off. Working out quite nicely. Comp should still be following, just sort of fighting around the side of you. They've sent quite a lot in. You can honestly get your comps on charge here. If they're in your way a little bit, I seem to think they're getting my way. If you're sitting on the sort of the right side of your infantry, just picking them off, while your archers are sort of focusing on the left side. That's sort of the simple rule to follow. But we seem to just smash that infantry group quite easily there. Just keep myself moving around, because if I get hit in the back by an arrow, it's going to hurt quite a bit. So we're just going to bring the square up. Maybe even bring the archers forward a little bit. Just going to bring the square up right on the right side of them. Just so that they have all their backs basically turned to all the archers. We could even put the archers a little bit more to the right if we wanted. And then have them facing maybe that way. So we got a little bit of an angle on the backside. But we want to keep our infantry square pushing forward. Just so all this infantry here starts facing the infantry, and then you've got the archers just peppering them from behind. Seems to work quite well against all bosses. Then we can get in there and start fighting. By now your comps probably should have died too, but if they're still alive, then good on them. Infantry square's holding up quite nicely here. Looks like we've actually lost a couple, but as long as that square's still holding, then you honestly should be fine. Just try to get as many kills as you can. Have a little 1v1 duel there. I'm just going to keep moving it forward slowly. At this point I might even put the archers on charge just so they get in there a bit closer than where they want to be. And then the infantry I might kill these last couple here, maybe put them back into a shield wall. Just to drain some of the archers. Yeah, we've actually definitely lost a lot of infantry there, so I'd recommend probably bringing a little bit more infantry. Because if your infantry dies, then it's all up to your archers, and you don't want that to happen. But we held up just in that fight there. I'd definitely probably be bringing a bit more next time. Come on, mate. Sweet. Alright, we might just keep them in shield wall there, let our archers do the rest of the job, just because we have low numbers. But if you had heaps of infantry left in the battle at this stage, you'd probably walk them all the way up to the archers, then chuck them on charge, just because the archers are really useless against them when that happens. But we should be right here, just let the archers sort of pick off the rest of them. Oh, and I've died. That's alright though, the infantry's going to charge. We've got 8 deaths, so it's not too bad. Probably could have done with a little bit better if we had more infantry, but yeah, that should be fine there. Infantry just going to push in. Archers, yeah, really just did the job there, and they're not full Fiend champs either. They're just the Fiends, so you don't need the full Fiend champs. If you can get them early, then great. That's definitely worth it. But as you can see, as Fiends right there, basically Palatine guards, or maybe a little bit better, can pretty much do the job. Yeah, 9 deaths there. Easy to recover, but yeah, once you do his scouts and then you can do Hawk, you get quite a bit of gold and loot. So the losses really don't affect you too much there. Good skills too, good money. Look, 40k just from doing just Hawk there. Safe and sound, and yeah, great win there. Let's see what kind of loot we get. Loot's not the best, but some of this armor can actually go for a decent amount on the market too if you sell it, or you can sell it to the artisan. Noble kits, they're great. You can start making fiends of your own. Yeah, there's a couple good things in there. Not the best, but it's definitely a start. There you have it. Hawk done and dusted. 70 troops left. Lucky we're in the PvP zone or PvE.